Winter seems to have come and gone in the vineyards. The foot of snow we had last week has given way to dry roads, and our crews are hard at pruning again. One of the things we need to keep an eye on throughout the whole winter season is our cold temperatures. And just 10 days ago, we had some really low temperatures. We saw 14 degrees in our vineyards. So we need to make sure that hasn't caused problems, that there hasn't been bud death, and that the vascular tissue of these vines is still okay. So we're gonna look at some information first, and then we're gonna meet our viticulture team that is actually doing the work of checking buds and checking tissue. So I hope you enjoy this video. Here we go. So the first thing we're gonna do is look at the lowest temperatures we saw in the vineyard this year. We get this information from a WSU site called AgWeatherNet. And there were really 3 days, and you'll see that 2 of them happened very recently. On the 12th of February and the 15th, we saw 15.2 degrees and 14.4 for our lows. The next data we're gonna look at are the cold hardiness numbers that are provided by WSU University. And there's, like I said, 2 things we're really paying attention to. One is bud damage, and that bud 10 number represents what temperature 10% of bud death will occur. And we can see that Tempranillo is going to be the highest at around 0 degrees. So with us hitting 14 degrees, we feel really good that temperatures aren't causing bud death. On the tissue side, the number we need to pay attention to is that phloem 10. That phloem 10 represents what temperature 10% of the phloem tissue might die at. And that's looking closer to 10 degrees, which is pretty close to our 14-degree temperatures. Now, young vines that are young and immature and really thin could see damage even at higher temperatures. So I think the young vines are the ones we really need to focus on for tissue damage. All right, now it's showtime. We are actually going to cut some buds. And Emma, I've never actually done this, so you need to be the teacher here.
Right, so you want to do 3 cuts. There's a primary, a secondary, and a tertiary bud.
Now, do you have a second blade?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
There you go.
Now, I've never done this before.
Yeah.
So I'm going to watch you for at least the first one before I give it a go.
So the first thing is that a lot of people will do too deep of a cut the first time.
Okay.
My first few times took the first bud just completely off. So what you're going to want to do is there's the primary, tertiary, or primary, secondary, and tertiary bud.
Okay.
Those are the ones that you're trying to expose to see how much damage. Because if there's the primary and the secondary have damage, then you're likely not going to get a fruitful push from that bud.
Okay.
Due to the damage. You can, but it's likely you're not. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your razor blade and just very, very thinly slice off. So right there.
Oh, you did that. I see green.
That is the primary bud.
Okay, and
so
that's because it's big. That's a nice big bud.
Yep. So the buds get smaller as they get.
All right.
So
now, can you see the secondary and tertiary there? Or?
Not yet. So then you have to cut it again. So right, see the primary bud right there, secondary bud right there.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Here, we'll get so even better.
Okay, so you gotta
just look right in there, whatever the light.
Oh gosh, I can't. Oh yeah, I see one. I think. Okay.
And
You're
then
making this look pretty doable.
it's not hard as long as you try to get the thinnest layer you can.
The only time I really use razor blades is to clean our stovetop. Do you ever use?
No.
Well, that's how we clean our stovetop at our house.
We do it for hard water.
Oh,
for the windows.
Oh, windows. Yes, I did that the other day too.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm bud cutting, and do I have a dead one or what? What did I do?
That looks like it's dead.
I found a dead one. Now
you could do you can do
it looks
a
like
second.
a secondary is dead too. Is that the secondary?
That looks like it might be the secondary.
All right, so we
but
got
the
primary.
tertiary does look like it's alive because it looks like you might have gotten. There's a little spot right there that's a little green.
So, all right. So we haven't been that cold. Like, are there other things besides weather that can cause? All right, I'm gonna cut a second one here.
Okay.
I think I got another primary dead. Is it? But it looks like maybe the secondary's alive.
Yeah, that looks like the secondary one's alive.
All right, so we're 0 for 2. Wow. Okay. So what on the Syrah, Emma? How much bud death are you seeing out there?
So this year we only saw like 5% bud death.
Okay.
It was kind of surprising because we saw more in the Tempranillo, and the Tempranillo was really not bad. But we were seeing about 5% bud death in our Syrahs. We saw about 10% in a couple of our Chardonnay blocks.
All right, so I've seen back-to-back primaries dead. How lucky am I?
You're lucky. So lucky.
Oh, so lucky. All right. Let's see. Can I go 3 for 3? If I go 3 for 3, I will go immediately and buy a lotto ticket. So, what do you think there? Is that looks like maybe that one's alive?
That one looks like the secondary is alive.
Secondary is
but it looks
alive.
like
I'm 3 for 3. 3 dead buds.
Oh.
I'm gonna put my birthday and my kids' birthday, and we're gonna win like $1 billion.
I'm rooting for you.
In a second. So crazy. All right.
So yeah. So then another thing that you can do.
And I've done 3 for 3. That wasn't that bad.
That wasn't that bad.
I was assuming I'd missed the bud, but
you didn't.
I did good. You told me not to go too deep.
Yep.
And I didn't go too deep, and there was a primary bud that was dead 3 times in a row. So
another thing that you can do, and I have an example kind of set aside, is with the canes you can still do cane assessments instead of just bud assessments.
Oh,
so you can actually cut into.
Oh, so that xylem phloem.
Yep.
We can check that right here.
Right here.
I was thinking about going outside and doing this, but it's really windy. It's like gonna blow 40 miles an hour, so I like doing it right here.
Yeah, so then there's this right here, and I actually chose this, or Lane chose these canes to kind of show what it looks like when the...
Oh, is that dead?
Yeah.
Wow.
Everything up till about this bud
so you can tell from the coloration of the wood that we got death there.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, you can just... I mean, you can prune into it, and you can see it'll die back. But
I'm seeing the same thing here, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna cut into this, and yeah, no green whatsoever. But based on that, if I cut right here, yeah, we're green. That was a great experience cutting buds with Emma. Afterwards, Lane and I did go out quickly to check out a young Pinot Gris vineyard just outside the winery. And things look good. Some of the extensions had died, but overall, we are looking just about as good as we ever have at this point through a winter of late in keeping the vines healthy. So we feel good. Thank you so much for joining us on this video. Appreciate it.